How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, of course.
My first question is, what are some of your earliest basketball memories?
Um, as young as I can remember, um, playing mini hoop as a kid when I was 3 and 4 years old.
And what about influences growing up, both on and off the court?
um, Influence definitely off the court. I would say it was my dad, man. I looked up to my dad in so many ways. Hardworking dude, was always there, coming with me to the gym before the sun was up and rebounding and trying to help me in whatever way he could. Nothing negative ever from my dad. And then I would say on the court, I have grown up a LeBron fan. I love LeBron. And then I also was a big Dirk Nowitzki fan for a long time. I grew up in Dallas. I loved the Mavericks.
Yeah.
I got to witness them win a championship when I was, I think, 9 or 10. Can't remember how long it's been, but yeah, those are some of the influences.
I know there was a time when you were growing up that you weren't too sure about basketball, and then you moved to Utah. Can you tell me about that time and how it sort of re-energized you?
Yeah, I just think I needed a change. I think change in life sometimes for a lot of people can be really scary, but also very beneficial and can kind of rekindle a lot of love for things that you didn't know you really had. And so getting out into a new area and really loving the game of basketball again was huge.
And when did you realize that basketball was something that you could do in college and possibly beyond?
I think from the time I started playing high school ball and I would start being contacted by different colleges, and I recognized that I have some God-given talent and this body that I have, this physical body. My parents, my dad is 6 foot. My mom is 5'7". I'm 6'9". So I recognized that I was given a few things and just really wanted to capitalize on it. And started loving the game and realized that if I work really hard, I can get closer and closer to these goals.
And talk to me about what your recruitment process was like and how you ultimately decided on BYU.
My recruitment process was interesting. I really didn't know where I ultimately wanted to end up. I thought as a kid I wanted to be at Texas. That's where my dad graduated business school, and I grew up a Texas Longhorns fan for a while. And also there was the side of my family that was the BYU side. I have lots of relatives and family members that have attended BYU, and I think at first I kind of wanted to be different and change that mold and part of my family and kind of do my own thing. And then the more and more I got closer to making my final decision, I knew from the connections and the people that I had that BYU was the right spot for me.
And in your first year, what was your best memory?
Probably just winning games and getting the experience I did with the team we had. We had such a great group of guys, dudes who were coming in the gym every day, willing to work, willing to sacrifice for each other. And there's something special about when you get a group of guys willing to sacrifice for each other. It was super fun. Going to the NCAA tournament for the first time, experiences I'll never forget. And the ultimate goal for me is to continue to work and take this team to a national championship.
And what about your biggest disappointment?
I'd say biggest disappointment is coming up short. I think nobody likes to lose. Losing is one of the worst things in the world, man, and it hurts. And we worked so hard for a lot of things, and we just weren't able to win a game once we got to the NCAA tournament. But it's all learning opportunities, things to grow on, things that we can fix, and we're working for next year, and we'll see where it takes us.
Now, what happens when the season ends? How long do you take off, and when do you start to get ready for the next year?
I don't think too much time was taken off. I think in a lot of guys, we did need just a little bit of time to process emotionally and relax for a second, but we were right back on the horse, man. We didn't want to let it get into our heads. Got right back on and started working, and
And what are your biggest goals for this upcoming year?
We want to go as far as we can in the tournament and be the best basketball team we can and do it together.
All right. Now, looking back, what kind of advice would you give 10-year-old Caleb?
I would look back and say, keep working, and then don't put your head down no matter what happens, because in this life there's going to be things that don't go your way, and it's not the end of the world. Just to keep working, having fun with it while you're doing it, and remember why you do it, if you love it.
And what would that 10-year-old think of Caleb in 2021?
That Caleb probably wouldn't recognize him. I think that 10-year-old Caleb would look up to him, though, for sure.
All right, my last question is, how do you think your friends and family would describe you?
As a creative, passionate, hardworking kid who has a love for this life, love for the game of basketball, and a love for his close ones.
That's great. I really appreciate the time, Caleb, and I really look forward to watching you with BYU this season.